Hey guys, I'm Phoenix here, and let's talk about Shadow of War and censorship and Warner Bros. And microtransactions. So, let's just start off with the forums, shall we? So, what has happened is that when the story about the microtransactions hit, everybody went onto the forums and started spamming it up with threads about microtransactions. As a result, they condensed it all into a thread, and eventually that thread got so long that they locked it and deleted it. They might have just locked it, but anyway, it was gone, and they started removing anybody who started talking about the microtransactions. I understand this system, and it's fine. It's fine to do it because people had the chance to discuss it, and they have now opened another mega thread for people to throw comments on microtransactions, and so that the moderators can condense the all the things into one big mega thread. They have said, well, basically that they're going to keep it pinned so that it's accessible for everyone, and all the posts will now be merged into it. So, it's a reasonable way. Whether or not this was because of Sid Alpha's video on the subject, who knows? But I can kind of understand them going through a phase of just deleting posts because they thought that the discussion was done. That there wasn't anything really new coming out of the situation. That said, whilst I am fine with them managing their own forums however they see fit, I am not a fan of microtransactions in games where it affects the game in any real sense of the word. I should note at this point, I have no interest in buying Shadow of War. I never had any interest in buying Shadow of War. I never really liked the first one. It was alright, but I never finished it, and that's quite a good mark of a game that just doesn't grip me. Call of Duty. I've finished Call of Duty. And that's meant to be, just a sort of a run and gun, reasonably mindless game. And yeah, I finished that, and I play the zombies mode reasonably regularly. It's the sort of game that sort of grips me as a sort of a reasonably mindless killathon. The Surge, again, it's a. I have finished the Surge. I have started playing it on New Game Plus mode. It's a similar style of fightiness that Shadow of Mordor had. And that gripped me more than Shadow of Mordor did. I am a fan of Tolkien's work, and I am a fan of Tolkien's evolutions. Warhammer came from that. Terry Pratchett's work came from that. Warcraft came from Warhammer, which came from Tolkien's work. And so, I am a fan of the genre, but I don't know. The game's just never doesn't really sort of grip me in the same way that other games that have a similar sort of fighting style do, like The Surge. So, yeah, this is. Yeah, so this comes from just my opinions of microtransactions, and generally, my opinions are that the microtransactions can exist in games, but they shouldn't impact the games. The games should not be balanced for microtransactions. And the games shouldn't necessarily reward people reward people who use microtransactions over those who don't. And it's a very, very fine line to run. Cosmetic items, like the ones in Elite Dangerous, like the ones in Portal, or Portal 2, these don't really matter. They are cosmetic items to make your ships or your characters a little bit more unique. Call of Duty does it quite well. They have a microtransaction system whereby you can use that to buy lockboxes. You can also get these lockboxes through normal play, through the keys system. And with those lockboxes you can unlock weapons and skins. Again, it's a reasonably balanced way of doing things because those who want to buy the crates can do, or those people who want to just play the game and unlock the crates normally, they can do that as well. And it's balanced even further because if you drop one of those unique weapons in the game that you've that you've kind of put together, somebody can pick that gun and use it in that game. So it's balanced in that respect as well. However, when you're starting to talk about things like Dungeon Keeper Mobile, whereby in order to really play the game, you do need to spend real money, and maybe that definitely is not a good system to go down. So when you're starting to talk about how people from the single player game can raise their armies and then attack a multiplayer fort, but any orcs that they lose are gone forever, you're then having to consider, what about those orcs that have been bought with real money? What happens if you attack another fort where somebody has spent a lot of money, actual money, in making those orcs? What happens then is just a person who's been playing the game is then going to lose a single player resource by attacking something that is potentially unwinnable because of how much money somebody has potentially spent in the multiplayer. So you have this problem. And the way to fix this problem is to automatically categorize forts and basically let people know what they might be heading into, and potentially allowing people to specify that they don't want to attack a fort that's got paid for orcs in it, and also having an automatic system that basically says if you have any paid for orcs in your attacking army, you immediately can only attack forts that have had paid for orcs in their armies. It's little systems like that just to balance things out, just to make it a little bit more fair for everyone. Because otherwise people are going to have an awful lot of problems with microtransactions in their games. A better system to do? Just remove the microtransactions. The game is already going to be a full-priced AAA title. You don't need microtransactions on top. It's just weird to do, especially when it does impact the game so heavily. Call of Duty you can kind of understand, because ultimately it's been balanced. It's not been designed for people to... It's not been balanced for people to microtransaction their way through the game. It's been balanced for people to just have those weapons and to unlock them slowly, and if somebody drops their uber weapon, you can pick it up and use it against them. It's reasonably fair, and that's all anybody wants from their games, for the balance to be fair. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how they change it. I think they probably will change it. I hope that they'll just remove it altogether, because it's just a very weird thing to do. But anyway, with that I will say thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time.